32 feet per second squared. That is how fast gravity pulls a human body toward the Earth. At the Husseini Suspension Bridge in northern Pakistan, only a few rotting wooden planks stand between you and that math becoming personal. This bridge stretches over 200 meters across the Hunza River. Its deck is not continuous. Planks are spaced unevenly, some a full stride apart, with nothing but open air and churning glacial water between them. The original bridge, built in the 1930s, connected villages on opposite sides of the Borit Lake outflow. Its steel cables have been patched and rewrapped by hand over decades. Locals from the town of Pasu still cross it, because the nearest paved alternative adds hours to a journey that would otherwise take minutes. In 2010, a massive landslide dammed the Hunza River and created Atabad Lake, destroying sections of the Karakoram Highway and making bridges like Husseini even more critical for months. Stand at the edge and look across. The planks are gray and splintered. Some are cracked down the center. The cables droop and twist under their own weight. When the wind funnels through the valley, the entire structure begins to sway side to side, like a hammock caught in a storm. Your hands grip the wire handrails, and you can feel every vibration travel through the cable and into your palms. Step onto the first plank, and the bridge dips beneath you. The roar of glacial water rises from below. The turquoise river looks almost peaceful from a distance, but its current runs at speeds that would drag a person under in seconds. One misplaced foot, one plank that finally gives way, and the fall ends in water cold enough to shut down your muscles before you could even think to swim. Yet every single day, families carry supplies across this bridge. Children walk it to reach school. It is not adventure for them. It is the only way home. And this is only where our journey begins, because the bridges ahead were built with far more engineering and somehow feel even less safe. If you have ever crossed a bridge that made your stomach drop, leave a comment telling us where it was. Stories from people who have actually been there are what make this channel worth building. Bravest Bridge, Iran. Most people picture Iran as flat desert stretching to every horizon. But in the north, the Alborz Mountains rise over 4,000 meters, forming a wall of rock that blocked transportation for centuries. In the 1930s, Iranian engineers attempted something that most European consultants called impossible. They set out to build a railway straight through the heart of that wall. The result was the Veresk Bridge, completed in 1936, a single stone arch spanning 66 meters across a valley 110 meters deep. The entire bridge stretches 112 meters in length, curving gently as it carries the Trans-Iranian Railway between two cliff faces. From below, it looks like a thin ribbon of stone draped between mountains that could crush it without effort. Construction cost dozens of lives. Workers carved into solid rock using hand tools and early explosives. The lead engineer, a German contractor named Walter Eigner, reportedly asked to be buried beneath the bridge itself. So certain was he that the structure would outlast everything around it. He got his wish. His grave sits directly under the main arch. When a train crosses the Veresk Bridge today, the scene has not changed much from 1936. Hundreds of tons of steel rolling over a single stone curve, suspended above a canyon so deep that clouds sometimes drift below the tracks. Passengers who look out the window see nothing but open air. and rock walls on either side. The sound of the train echoes off the canyon and returns as a low, rolling thunder. If the arch failed, if the stone fractured under thermal stress or seismic activity, both real threats in this region, the train and everyone aboard would drop 360 feet straight into the gorge. There would be no surviving that fall. There would barely be evidence of the train afterward. And yet, scheduled service continues across the Veresk Bridge every single day, just as it has for nearly 90 years. The bridges coming next share one thing with Veresk. They were all built as temporary solutions. The difference is, some of them never got replaced. If that image of a train suspended on a stone ribbon between two mountains stays in your mind, consider subscribing to Explore Danger. This is the kind of story we chase every single week. Vitim River Bridge, Russia. Here's a fact that sounds invented. In Siberia, there is a bridge where drivers must get out of their vehicles, walk the entire 570-meter span on foot first, and test individual planks with their body weight before deciding whether to drive across. That bridge is the Vitim River Bridge near the village of Kwanda in eastern Russia. It is not an old relic from a forgotten century. People used it yesterday. The bridge was originally built in 1982 as a temporary railway crossing for the Baikal-Amur Main Line, a 4,300-kilometer railroad project. But it was never officially approved for trains. After construction crews left, local residents simply began driving across it, because the nearest alternative river crossing was hundreds of kilometers away. The deck is just over 2 meters wide, roughly 6.5 feet. That is narrower than a standard pickup truck. There are no railings on either side. The surface is old wooden planks laid over a rusted metal frame, many of them warped, cracked, or missing entirely. In winter, ice coats the remaining planks, turning the bridge into a frozen obstacle course, suspended over a river that stays liquid even when the air drops to minus 40 degrees. Approach the bridge on a January morning, and the first thing you notice is silence. No traffic, no signs, just a white landscape and a narrow line of dark wood extending across a frozen fog. Your tires crunch on ice as you stop at the edge. The planks ahead are uneven, some tilted at angles. The river below is black and moving. One wrong turn of the steering wheel, even a few inches, and the vehicle slides off the side. The drop is not enormous, but the water is. The Vitim River is deep, fast, and cold enough to kill in minutes. Recovery of a submerged vehicle in this location can take weeks, if it happens at all. Drivers who make it across sometimes describe it as the longest minute of their lives. Every bridge so far has been anchored to mountains or valleys. The next one is anchored to something far stranger. Pure optical illusion. The Shima-Ohashi Bridge, Japan. Picture a highway overpass you have driven 100 times. Flat, boring, forgettable. Now picture that same overpass tilted upward at an angle so steep it looks like a roller coaster climbing toward the sky. That image is the Ashima-Ohashi Bridge in western Japan, and the first time most people see a photograph of it, they refuse to believe it is a real road. The bridge spans 1.7 kilometers across Lake Nakaumi, connecting Matsue City in Shimane Prefecture with Sakai Minato City in Tottori Prefecture. Built between 1997 and 2004, it rises to a peak height of 45 meters above the water. The reason for that height is simple. Large cargo ships need clearance to pass underneath. So, engineers designed the bridge with a gradient of 6.1% on the Shimane side and 5.1% on the Tottori side. Those numbers are well within safe road limits. In technical terms, this bridge is not steep at all. But seen from a low angle at the base, the compressed perspective makes the road appear almost vertical. Photographs shot from the Tottori approach have gone viral worldwide, making the bridge look like a wall of asphalt rising straight into the clouds. Drivers approaching from this angle often slow down instinctively, even though their car handles the grade without effort. The pavement is smooth, the lanes are wide, guardrails line both sides. On paper, the Ishima Ohashi is one of the safest bridges on this entire list. And yet, tourists flock to it specifically because it terrifies them visually. They park at the base, take photographs, and sometimes sit in their cars for a full minute before driving up a slope their eyes insist is dangerous, but their engine barely notices. What the Ishima Ohashi proves is something every bridge on this list demonstrates in a different way. Human fear does not wait for real danger. Sometimes the illusion is enough. But the next bridge offers no illusion at all. The danger beneath your feet is a 40-meter drop into jungle canopy, and the only thing holding you up is rope. That moment of hesitation at the base of a slope, your brain swears is vertical. Have you ever felt that kind of disconnect between what you see and what you know? Tell us in the comments. Those stories are some of the best conversations on this channel. Canopy Walk at Kakum National Park, Ghana. 40 meters above the forest floor in southern Ghana, 7 rope bridges connect the treetops of a rainforest that has existed for thousands of years. This is the Kakum Canopy Walk, and it hangs in a place where the ground is not just far below you, it is completely invisible beneath the thick ceiling of green. The walkway system stretches approximately 350 meters through the upper canopy of Kakum National Park, a 375 square kilometer protected tropical rainforest. Each bridge segment is roughly 1 meter wide, made of wooden planks and rope netting, suspended between platforms bolted to massive tropical hardwood trees. The bridges were originally constructed in 1995, with support from a Canadian conservation nonprofit, designed both as an ecotourism attraction and as a way to fund forest preservation. Step onto the first platform, and the sounds shift immediately. The noise of the parking lot and visitor center disappears. What replaces it is a wall of insect and bird sound so dense it almost feels physical. The air is thick and humid, heavy with moisture that clings to your skin and fogs your glasses within seconds. Walk to the center of the first bridge segment and look down. Your feet rest on narrow planks with gaps between them. Through those gaps, you see nothing but layers of green, leaves, branches, vines. Descending into a darkness the sun cannot fully reach. The bridge sways with every step, reacting to your weight and the weight of anyone else on the same segment. Rope netting on the sides reaches about waist height, enough to prevent a fall, but not enough to prevent the feeling that a fall is imminent. Over 100,000 visitors walk this canopy system every year. For most, the biggest shock is not the height, but the motion. The bridges do not feel stable. They feel alive. And if a swaying rope bridge 130 feet above a jungle floor unsettles you, the next destination will test a completely different nerve. Because at the Aiguille du Midi, the floor beneath your feet is made of glass. and the drop below is measured in thousands of feet, not hundreds. If a place like Kakum proves anything, it is that some of the world's most intense experiences happen far from any headline. Subscribe to Explore Danger so the next one lands in your feed automatically. Aiguille du Midi Sky Bridge, France. At 3,842 meters above sea level, higher than any point in the lower 48 United States, there is a glass box bolted to a granite spire in the French Alps. Step inside it, and the floor vanishes. Below your feet is 1,000 meters of open air before anything solid appears. This is the Step into the Void experience at the Aiguille du Midi, and it redefines what a bridge can do to the human nervous system. The Aiguille du Midi Sky Bridge and Viewing Platform. Sit on the summit of one of the Mont Blanc Massif's most dramatic peaks. To reach it, visitors first ride the Aiguille du Midi cable car, which climbs 2,807 meters in roughly 20 minutes. One of the highest vertical ascents by cable car in the world. When you step off the cable car, the air temperature is often below freezing, even in summer. Oxygen is thinner. Your breathing quickens without effort. Walk to the glass terrace and stand on 5 layers of tempered glass. Engineers designed it to hold the weight of dozens of visitors simultaneously. But your brain does not care about engineering. Your brain sees empty space beneath your feet and sends one clear signal: do not move. Visitors regularly freeze in place. Some crouch. Some grip the metal frame around the glass box with both hands and refuse to look down for more than a second. Beyond the glass, the view stretches across the entire Mont Blanc range. Snow-covered peaks extend in every direction. Glaciers thousands of years old fill the valleys below. The wind at this altitude hits the structure in gusts that create low vibrations you can feel through the floor. If the glass cracked, and engineers insist it cannot, the fall would last roughly 14 seconds before impact. That is enough time to be fully conscious of what is happening. There would be nothing to grab, nothing to slow the descent. Just air, rock, and gravity doing exactly what gravity does. But the next 2 bridges take height even further. One over a glacial gorge, and the other across a void so deep it swallowed the clouds. Trift Bridge, Switzerland. In the Swiss Alps, a bridge was built across a space that did not exist 50 years ago. The Trift Bridge spans a gorge that only appeared because a glacier retreated. The ice that once filled this valley melted, and what it left behind was a 100-meter-deep chasm with a milky turquoise lake at the bottom. Engineers looked at that new void and decided to stretch a footbridge across it. The current Trift Bridge, rebuilt in 2009 after the original 2004 version proved too unstable in high winds, is 170 meters long and hangs 100 meters above the Trift Glacier Lake. It is one of the longest pedestrian suspension bridges in the Swiss Alps. The deck is made of metal grating, open mesh, that lets you see straight through to the water below with every step. Reaching the bridge requires a cable car ride to the Trift Hut area, followed by a 90-minute hike along rocky alpine trails. There is no easy way in and no quick way out. By the time you reach the bridge, you have earned every step, and the remoteness of the location means rescue in an emergency would take hours, not minutes. Stand at the bridge's entrance, and the scale hits immediately. The gorge walls are raw granite, scraped smooth by ice over millennia. The lake below is an unnatural blue-green, colored by glacial sediment so fine it stays suspended in the water. Wind channels through the gorge and the bridge begins to sway. Long, slow oscillations that you feel in your knees before you feel them in your feet. Walk to the center and the sway becomes your entire reality. The metal grating vibrates under your boots. Looking down through the mesh, the 100-meter drop to the lake surface compresses into what feels like arm's reach and infinite distance at the same time. If the cables failed, a scenario engineers insist is nearly impossible, the bridge and everyone on it would fall the equivalent of a 30-story building into glacial water cold enough to incapacitate a swimmer in under 2 minutes. The drift exists because of climate change. The glacier that carved this gorge is still shrinking. Every year the void grows wider. And if standing above a void that is actively expanding sounds unnerving, the next bridge in Switzerland sits even higher, with even less room to breathe. Most channels skip places like the Trift because they are harder to research and harder to reach. That is exactly why Explore Danger covers them. If that depth matters to you, a subscription makes sure you never miss it. Titlis Cliff Walk, Switzerland. Europe's highest suspension bridge is 1 meter wide. That is 3.3 feet. Barely enough room for 2 people to squeeze past each other while gripping the same handrail. The Titlis Cliff Walk sits at 3,041 meters above sea level on Mount Titlis in central Switzerland, and every one of its 100 meters of length is exposed to conditions that would ground most aircraft. The bridge was completed in December 2012 and cost approximately 1.5 million Swiss francs to build. It connects 2 points along the cliff face near the Titlis summit station, crossing over a deep glacial crevasse. The deck is metal grating, the same open mesh style as the Trift Bridge, meaning every step gives you a direct line of sight to the ice and rock hundreds of meters below. To get there, visitors ride the Titlis Rotaire, the world's first revolving cable car, which rotates 360 degrees during its ascent. The ride itself is a test of nerve. The cabin swings gently as it climbs past sheer cliff faces and over crevasses that appear and disappear beneath the glass floor. By the time you step off at the summit station, you are already at an altitude where the air contains roughly 30% less oxygen than at sea level. Step onto the cliff walk and the wind hits first. It comes from the glacier below in sharp gusts that carry ice crystals. The bridge's wire mesh sides rattle. The narrow deck vibrates. Below, a glacier that has been here for thousands of years stretches across the mountain in deep blue and white folds. Each of the 150 steps across the bridge feels different from the last. Some are steady. Some arrive with a sway that shifts your weight without warning. One stumble against the low wire mesh railing would not send you over, but your body does not believe that. Your hands grip harder. Your steps shorten. Your breathing becomes something you have to manage. If the wind exceeds safe thresholds, the bridge closes. But the threshold is higher than most visitors expect. And the bridges ahead are not in the Alps. They are in places where closing for weather is not an option anyone has. You just crossed 2 Swiss bridges above 3,000 meters in back-to-back entries. If your palms are even slightly damp right now, that is a Lin well earned. One tap tells us this kind of content is worth making more of. Carrick Reed Rope Bridge, Northern Ireland. For over 350 years, salmon fishermen on the coast of Northern Ireland built rope bridges to reach a tiny island where the fish ran thick every season. They They tied ropes to the cliffs, laid planks across, and walked 20 meters above the Atlantic Ocean to set their nets. Every year they built the bridge. Every year the sea tried to take it down. The current Carrick-a-Reed rope bridge spans 20 meters between the mainland cliffs of County Antrim and the small rocky island of Carrick-a-Reed. It hangs roughly 30 meters above the ocean. The bridge was rebuilt in a more permanent form in 2008 by the National Trust, with wire rope cables and wooden slat decking. It is far safer now than anything the original fishermen used, but the location itself has not changed. The cliffs on both sides drop straight into the North Atlantic. The water below is dark, churning, and violent, smashing against basalt columns formed by volcanic activity 60 million years ago. On calm days, the bridge crossing takes less than a minute. On windy days, which is most days on this coast, the bridge swings, the ropes creak, and the spray from waves crashing 100 feet below reaches the deck. Over 250,000 visitors cross the bridge each year. Many of them stop halfway, grip the rope railings, and look down at the sea boiling against the rocks. The return trip is often harder than the crossing, because now you know exactly what is below you, and your imagination has had time to work. The fishermen who built the original bridges did not use harnesses. They did not have wire cables. They used hemp rope and raw wooden planks, and they crossed in weather that would close modern bridges instantly. Some fell. Records from the region reference drownings tied to the crossing, though exact numbers from earlier centuries are not documented with precision. What Carrick-a-Reed proves is that human beings have always been willing to cross impossible gaps for something as simple as a living. The bridges coming next were built for the same reason, but at scales the salmon fishermen could never have imagined. Somewhere in this audience, there is someone who has stood on that bridge with the Atlantic wind trying to push them sideways. If that is you, drop your story in the comments. First-hand accounts are worth more than any statistic. Royal Gorge Bridge, Colorado, USA. For decades, this was the highest bridge in the world. The Royal Gorge Bridge in Canyon City, Colorado, hangs 291 meters, 956 feet above the Arkansas River. When it opened in 1929, nothing on Earth put a human being that high above moving water on a walkable surface. And unlike most bridges on this list, this one was not built for transportation. It was built because someone wanted to prove it could be done. The bridge spans 384 meters across the Royal Gorge, a narrow granite canyon carved over millions of years by the Arkansas River. The original wooden plank deck was supported by 1,292 wooden planks laid across the bottom chord of the suspension structure. Two main cables, each over 300 meters long, carry the load between stone and concrete anchorages bolted into the canyon walls. In June 2013, the Royal Gorge fire swept through the area. The wildfire burned over 3,200 acres and destroyed most of the bridge's wooden deck planking, along with many of the park's buildings. The bridge's main cables and towers survived, but the fire damage was severe enough that the bridge was closed for over 2 years. It reopened in 2015 with a new deck and upgraded infrastructure. Walk to the center of the bridge and look down. The Arkansas River is a thin silver line nearly 1,000 feet below. The canyon walls are sheer on both sides, smooth granite faces that drop straight to the water. Wind funnels through the gorge and hits the bridge from beneath, creating an upward pressure you can feel in your chest If someone fell from the center of the Royal Gorge Bridge, the fall would last approximately 7.8 seconds. The impact speed would exceed 170 miles per hour. At that velocity, the water surface behaves like concrete. There would be no survival. The bridge has safety fencing now, but standing at the center and processing the depth of the gorge below remains one of the most visceral height experiences available anywhere in the United States. Then this is the point in our journey where the bridges stop being measured in hundreds of feet and start being measured in thousands. The Royal Gorge held the world height record for over 70 years. The fact that the bridges coming next make it look modest should tell you something about where this list is heading. Millau Viaduct, France. Most bridges cross rivers. The Millau Viaduct crosses the sky. At its tallest point, the mast of Pier P2 reaches 343 meters above the valley floor, taller than the Eiffel Tower by 19 meters. This is not a footbridge or a rope crossing. This is a 4-lane highway suspended in the atmosphere above the Tarn River Valley in southern France, and driving across it feels like flying a car through a cloud. The viaduct stretches 2,460 meters, over 1.5 miles, across one of the deepest valleys in France. Designed by structural engineer Michel Dirlojeux and architect Norman Foster, it was completed in December 2004 after 3 years of construction. The project cost approximately 400 million euros. 7 concrete pylons support the cable-stayed roadway, with the tallest pylon rising 245 meters from its base in the valley. On clear days, drivers crossing the Millau Viaduct see the valley floor nearly 900 feet below, and the Massif Central mountains stretching in every direction. On foggy days, which occur frequently in the Tarn Valley, the bridge deck floats above a sea of white cloud. Drivers enter the fog at one end, lose all visual reference to the ground, and emerge on the other side having crossed a void they could not see. Wind is the viaduct's constant adversary. The structure was engineered to withstand gusts exceeding 200 kilometers per hour. Wind deflectors line both edges of the roadway. Even so, on high wind days, driving across the bridge at the posted speed of 110 kilometers per hour creates a lateral push that drivers can feel through the steering wheel. Trucks with high profiles are occasionally restricted from crossing. The Millau Viaduct eliminated a traffic bottleneck that caused hours-long delays every summer. Over 4 million vehicles cross it each year. The toll is roughly 11 euros per car in peak season. For 11 euros, you get 1.5 miles of highway suspended above the clouds in one of the most exposed locations in Europe. But as tall as the Millau stands, it does not hold the record for the world's highest bridge. That title belongs to a structure in China, where the drop below the road deck would swallow the Milau's tallest pylon whole. If you are still watching, you are exactly the kind of viewer this channel exists for. A subscription costs nothing, and means the next Explore Danger video is waiting for you the moment it drops. Beipanjiang Bridge, China. The road deck of the Beipanjiang Bridge sits 565 meters above the Beipan River. That is 1,854 feet. That is taller than a 200-story building. If you dropped a stone from the center of this bridge, it would fall for nearly 11 seconds before hitting water. This is the highest bridge on Earth, and driving across it is the closest most humans will ever come to flying without leaving the ground. The bridge spans the Beipan River Gorge between Guizhou and Yunnan provinces in southwestern China. It is 1,341 meters long, with a main span of 720 meters. Construction began in 2013 and was completed on December 29, 2016. The total cost reached approximately 1 billion Chinese yuan, roughly $150 million US. It is part of the Hangzhou to Ruili Expressway, and its completion cut travel time between the two provinces from 5 hours to approximately 2. Before the bridge existed, the gorge was a wall between communities. People on either side lived within visual distance of each other, but were separated by a chasm so deep and steep that road connections required massive detours through mountain passes. The bridge did not just save time, it reconnected populations that geography had kept apart. Drive across the Beipanjiang Bridge on a clear morning, and the experience is disorienting. The road surface feels like any modern expressway, smooth, wide, well-marked. But glance to the side, and the terrain drops away into a void that makes your eyes struggle to find the bottom. On many days, clouds fill the gorge below the bridge deck. The road appears to float on a white floor with no visible support. If a vehicle went over the barrier at the center of this bridge, the fall would last over 10 seconds. Impact speed would exceed 240 miles per hour. At that velocity, survival is not a possibility. It is not even a concept. The river at the bottom is narrow, fast, and lined with rocks that have been there longer than human civilization. One more entry in China remains, and it asks a completely different question. What happens when the bridge is not just high, but see-through? That number, 565 meters, is worth sitting with for a moment. It means the entire height of the Royal Gorge Bridge in Colorado would fit beneath this road deck with room to spare. If that kind of perspective matters to you, share this video with someone who needs to see it. Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge, China. The floor is not there. That is the first signal your brain sends when you step onto the Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge in Hunan Province, China. Your eyes see the canyon 300 meters below through transparent tempered glass, and every instinct you own tells you the next step is a step into nothing. It is not, but your body does not believe that. The bridge is 430 meters long and 6 meters wide, suspended between two sandstone cliffs in Zhangjiajie Grand Canyon. Its deck is made of 120 panels of triple-layered tempered glass, each panel engineered to withstand a force of over 4,700 kilograms. The bridge can hold 800 people at once. It was designed by Israeli architect Haim Dotan and opened to the public in August 2016. During early testing, engineers drove a car across the glass surface and struck panels with sledgehammers. The glass cracked on the surface but did not break through. Walk to the center of the bridge and look straight down. The sandstone pillars of Zhangjiajie, the same formations that inspired the floating mountains in the film Avatar, rise from the canyon floor like stone fingers reaching up toward your feet. The river at the bottom is a thin green line. Birds fly below you. Clouds drift at eye level. The glass surface is smooth and on humid days slightly slippery. Some visitors drop to their hands and knees. Others grab the metal railings and shuffle sideways. Staff members are stationed along the bridge specifically to help people who freeze in place and cannot continue forward or backward. The bridge also offers a bungee jump from its center, a 260-meter free fall that ranks among the highest commercial bungee operations on the planet if a full panel failure occurred. Multiple layers cracking simultaneously. Anyone standing on that section would fall nearly 1,000 feet into a canyon with no flat surface to land on. Engineers call that scenario statistically impossible. But standing on glass above a quarter mile of empty air, statistics feel very far away, and gravity feels very close. Every bridge on this list was built by engineers and walked by strangers. But the final bridge was built by hand, using grass, by the same families who have rebuilt it every single year for 6 centuries. We are about to close this journey with something no other bridge on this list can match. Not in height, not in length, but in pure human legacy. Quechua Rope Bridge, Peru. Every June, 3 communities in the Peruvian Andes gather on opposite sides of the Apurimac River Canyon and do something their ancestors first did over 600 years ago. They weave a bridge out of grass. Not steel cable, not wire rope, grass. The Quechua Rope Bridge is the last remaining Inca rope bridge on Earth, and its existence depends entirely on human hands, rebuilding it from nothing every single year. The bridge spans approximately 28 meters across a gorge, roughly 18 meters deep over the Apurimac River in the Quechua district of Canas province. The construction material is coya, a type of mountain grass native to the region. Families harvest the grass, braid it into thin cords, twist those cords into thicker ropes, and weave those ropes into cables strong enough to support the weight of dozens of people crossing at once. The rebuilding ceremony takes 3 days. On the first day, old bridge ropes are cut and the remains drop into the river. For those hours, the 2 communities are physically separated. No connection exists across the gorge. On the second day, men from both sides string the new main cables across the canyon using ropes thrown from cliff to cliff. On the third day, the deck is woven onto the cables, and the bridge opens for crossing. The entire structure is built without a single metal bolt, nail, or manufactured fastener. Walk onto the Quechua Bridge, and the deck flexes immediately. The woven grass surface is rough under your shoes. The handrails are braided rope at shoulder height. The bridge sways with each step, and the sway increases as you near the center. Below, the Apurimac River churns through a narrow rock channel. The sound of the water rises through the weave of the deck. UNESCO inscribed the Quechua Bridge and its annual renewal ceremony as Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in 2013. If the communities stopped rebuilding it, if one generation chose not to pass the knowledge forward, the bridge and the 600-year-old tradition would disappear permanently. The grass rots within a year. Without renewal, there is nothing left. This is the only bridge on our list that is not about conquering nature through engineering. It is about asking permission from nature every single year, and accepting that the answer might change. For millions of people around the world, the bridges in this video are not tourist attractions or viral photographs. They are daily reality. They are the only path between home and the rest of the world, between a family and the food or medicine or work that keeps them alive. Some are held up by steel cables thick enough to anchor a ship. Others are held together by grass braided by hand. But every single one of them exists because someone, somewhere, looked at a gap that should have been impossible to cross and decided to cross it anyway. That is what this journey was about. Not just danger, not just fear, but the stubborn, quiet, sometimes reckless human refusal to accept that any two places should remain permanently apart. If even one of these bridges changed the way you think about the ground beneath your feet, share this video with someone who deserves to see it. Awareness is not a button. It is a choice to let someone else stand where you just stood and feel what you just felt. Explore Danger will be here when you are ready for the next journey.